Would you say that they have the strength and depth to be attractive for the retail sector? It's interesting to see that quite a number of international investors are trying to get into the smaller German towns for retail, and I just wonder whether the retail sector is strong enough for internationals to really understand it.
Well, I would say this is then a totally different story. Of course, it makes sense if you look into these locations with out-of-town boxes. But then again, you have to see what sort of coverage do you have in your center. The major point is that it will be difficult to give more space into the market for the future long term, and for sure you have to have a very good knowledge of the big retailers using these boxes, and the point of success is only if you have a portfolio of these assets to work with the better ones and the not better ones with the tenant. If you then talk to a tenant saying, well, and he wants to leave one box, then you say, but you are in another box in our portfolio, so then can we please find a compromise? I mean, the platforms who are successful in this, they have very good relationships to the major tenants.
Good. I was thinking of in-town retail, there seems to be people wanting to buy very small shopping centres. Are they strong enough?
I mean, I would say absolutely yes. I mean, it's clearly important that in Germany, and that's something we touched on earlier, there are demographic trends that there are among the big ones, they're shrinking cities and they're growing cities, and among the small ones, they're growing cities and shrinking cities. I think if you own a good and well-located shopping center in a growing or stable regional town in Germany, absolutely. I mean, there's strong demand on the tenant side. Clearly, all of the new brands that are getting into Germany, yes, they will probably try to start in the big ones, but the spread out, once successful, into the B and even the C class of cities is very well established. So we have owned and also sold shopping centers in places like Esslingen, in the wider Stuttgart area, but it's clearly a regional town of 60,000 people and has a very well functioning retail market. So I think it's in that sense, clearly it does need a bit more research in who are the winners and losers in Germany. And there is a lot of winners, but there are a few losers, and clearly they will be losing quite strongly. And that process is just about to get starting, and it's going to be accelerating. So I think if that's being considered, absolutely. Yeah.
Good. David, I should also introduce you to John, who's sitting behind you.
I really think it's just about getting to know the tenants and having the tenants' long-term view. Really, that's the most important point. Who can predict the demographics? But as it's really the tenants will have the better knowledge of what's going to happen, really, than we will, I suppose, as owners.
So as investors, when you're looking at that area, you're looking to follow where the tenants are and use that as an indication for where you think the best locations are.
Particularly in the food retail markets where we are as well, developing the long-term relationship with the tenant.